So I don't usually review Transformers. I find them sometimes a bit too fiddly to do videos for and lengthy and all that jazz, and a lot of times they don't do well view-wise. But I really want to take a look at this figure. It is the Studio Series Optimus Prime Voyager class figure from the Bumblebee movie. I finally got this figure, and I really wanted to talk about it because it is an absolutely fantastic figure. A lot of people have hyped this figure up being like one of the best Optimus Prime figures like ever, and honestly, I have to agree. Maybe not my number one favorite, but it's an absolutely phenomenal Optimus Prime figure. Absolutely fantastic. I love the design from the Bumblebee movie. It was that great mix between a G1 look but realistic live action at the same time. And this figure just really executed extremely well. Mold and paint wise and all that, absolutely fantastic, as you can see. Just getting a closer look there. The head sculpt is absolutely fantastic, and all throughout the figure you'll see it's really fully painted. They've really painted a ton of details. Like you even have the silver paint for the windshield wipers there. I love the clear plastic for the windshield itself. You got all this different detail and painted detail all throughout the figure. I love the silver paint on the abdomen there, the gold strips there on the hips. There are little red bits and silver paint on the legs. It all looks really fantastic. There's not much of a bare spot anywheres, which is really, really great. Really solid too, like not really any hollowness to the figure. He's pretty hefty for a Voyager. It's really, really solid. Yeah, as you can see, he has like no kibble as well. It's another really amazing thing with this figure is the fact they are able to execute almost no kibble. Like the back kibble is pretty much non-existent. He doesn't have a backpack, which is insane. And looks really good. Maybe a little bit of paint would make it look a little bit better, but I don't really blame them for not painting this part, as it's completely hidden in truck mode. Pretty much the only kibble you have is like the panels for like the doors on the bottom of the forearms there, but still is not too bad, and it's not as bad as the Siege Voyager, which we'll be comparing him with in a minute. But articulation-wise is another really great part to this figure. He does have a ball joint in the head, which can only really rotate and pivot a little bit. It doesn't really get up and down motion a whole lot. But you have really good range in the shoulders there, moving all around. You can rotate the bicep, hinge in the elbow, moves really well. You got swivel at the waist. The hip articulation is really good, like really good. Rotation at the thigh. You get the hinged knee, which moves just past 90, but you can get awesome, pretty great poses, like good action poses, but you can actually like kneel in a natural sort of pose, which is pretty cool. So that's awesome. And he also has like up and down and pivot at the ankle as well. Though moving the foot does like to sort of make the leg come apart a little bit, but it's not a big deal. And accessory-wise, he does just come with one accessory, which is his gun, but that's all he had in the movie, so that's really not a big deal. And the gun itself looks really good. So to straighten him out here, I'm going to compare him without completely demolishing him. Get him standing up straight there. I'm going to compare him with his, I guess, other Voyager counterpart that came out at the beginning of this year. And that would be the Voyager Siege Optimus Prime, which I picked up a while ago. Which is another absolutely fantastic Optimus figure. I love the Siege Optimus as well as the first Siege figure I picked up. And pretty much got me hooked on the line. They're both fantastic. They're both doing different things, which is something to keep in mind. They're both about the same height. I think the Studio Series might be ever so slightly taller, but they're about the same size, about the same bulk. I think this one's actually a bit slightly bulkier. And this one's kibble wasn't bad. Like, the backpack here isn't really much of a backpack. It's not bad. The bits on the back of the forearms is a little annoying, but not too bad, but it is noticeable. But as you can see, the Studio Series cleans up that kibble a lot better. But obviously this one's going for a more sort of cartoon look, I suppose, and less realistic look, but still has some of that technical detail and all that. And they both accomplish what they're trying to do. They're both really solid Optimus figures. Like, this year's been really great for Optimus figures. We got these two figures, the Leader Class Siege figure, the re-release of the G1 figure, like two other Studio Series, the Movie 1 Studio Series, and then the Dark of the Moon Leader that's coming out around this time now. So we're getting a lot of Optimus this year, and they've all been pretty good. Like, really. It's been a really great year for Optimus Prime figures. And there's probably been more in like the Cyberverse stuff that I don't collect. So yeah, before I get on to the vehicle mode, real quick, do a couple more quick size comparisons. Just a couple of the Studio Series. He is with his with Bumblebee, and as you can see, he's much bigger than Bumblebee, which makes sense. Bumblebee's also really small, but the scaling I think is really good here. So there's that. And then just for fun, just see what he looks like to sort of the standard leader class of the Studio Series. Here he is with Megatron. And it's not even... I think the scaling's pretty good on that as well. Megatron in the movie verse has been a bit bigger than Optimus, it seems, so I think this scale's pretty good, where Megatron's bigger, but not so big where he's completely towering over him, I guess, so I think that works pretty good. Okay, let's get Megatron out of here. And I'm going to transform the Studio Series and the Siege, and we'll take a look at them in their vehicle modes. Alright, now I got them in vehicle mode. We'll take a quick look at the Studio Series on its own first. And this is a really solid vehicle mode, really solid truck mode. There's not really much robot kibble going on. It's really, again, really solid. Rolls alright. You kind of gotta, get it kind of lined up right. Some of the wheels turn, but some of them, the whole hind isn't really catching, but that might be something on my part, not doing the transformation completely correct, but it is what it is. Still looks really great. It's a G1 style box cab truck, which looks really good. The reds look really good. The silver paint, blue paint for the windows on the side, but the clear looks really good on the front. The sculpt and paint in general looks fantastic. Like I said, solid. Everything tabs in really well. The only thing I find when transforming it is sometimes some things pop off their hinges, but that's more or less the first time we don't know where things are going, potentially. Once you do and get the hang of it, it's not that bad. Transformation itself is really great. It's really interesting how they engineered the transformation of this figure. It's not hard, but it's still interesting and fun to do, and it's really just an overall joy to transform this thing, which is an awesome thing to have in a Transformers figure, obviously. Tab that back in. And yeah, it's just really good, not much else to say. It's, a truck. It's pretty cool. But here we're bringing this Siege. Obviously they're going for two different looks. This is going more Cybertronian, and this is going more Earth. But they're still similar enough vehicles. And I like this figure a lot, and I like this vehicle mode a lot. Again, this one is also really solid, not really much robot kibble to be seen. Again, a fun transformation, but not as interesting engineering as this one has. This one's a little more simple in what it does, but still fun to do and all that, so that's pretty cool. They're about the same size. This one's just slightly longer because the feet in this one fold in, where the feet on this one just kind of fold up like the Masterpiece, which is fine. It looks good. This one's wheels roll a bit better, I think. Kind of, not really. But like I said, they're going for two different looks, obviously, so you can only kind of compare these so far. But they look pretty good, and again, I'm just gushing over this one. This is an awesome figure, 100% going to be in my top 10 figures of the year. It's such a good Optimus Prime figure and one of my favorites. And overall, I highly recommend this Optimus. It's really, really good. If you haven't been convinced by my review or any other reviewers, I might check it out for yourself. Distribution's been weird on this figure. I got mine on Amazon because this figure has not shown up anywhere in stores around me, which is up here in Canada, but they're probably around somewheres. But online you probably find this easily enough. It's a fantastic figure. There's really barely anything I can complain about. It's a solid and great transformation. Both modes are awesome. There's not much more to say than that. It's absolutely fantastic. It's probably my favorite Studio Series figure they've made. And I recently just got the Jetfire, which blew me away as well. So that's saying something. I was able to beat that out. Yeah, it's fantastic. And on the situation of between the two, which one should you get? They're going for two different things, so it depends on what you want, I guess, what style you want. This is more the cartoon, animated, sort of comic book sort of look, and this one's the realistic look. So if you want the realistic look, go with this one. If you want the comic book, cartoon sort of look, go with this one. But they're both really great. If you're an Optimus Prime Transformers fan, I'd say get both of them. But if you had to get just one, I would probably go with Studio Series and you can find it, because it is just... This one was already really good, so for this one to beat this one is definitely a feat because this one's already really great. I really love this Optimus, but I love this one too. So it's really hard to pick. I'm glad to have both though. Anyways, that's about it. What I got to say for this figure. It's just awesome. I wanted to talk about it. So thank you guys for watching. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments down below. And I will see you all in the next video. May the force be with you.